The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
There goes that man's jock strap. Oh my God, did you see that?
America's team? Yeah, right.
Oh, baby, it's a big day in sports.
There's nothing like battling it out with your teammates all season long to go win a championship.
Green Bay's got it this year.
Huge move for them. I think it's going to be a game changer.
We have a lot to talk about this busy week in the sports world. Welcome to the In a League of Their Own podcast.
The In a League of Their Own podcast is brought to you by Golf Kicks. Screw your shoes. By Canadips. Rep Sports. By Smooth My Balls. And by Streamer Loot. Check out the In a League of Their Own merch line today. Welcome to the show. Let's see what Austin and Collin are diving into today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast, episode 88 of In a League of Their Own. Today's interesting sports fact, it goes out to professional golfer Kathy Whitworth. Throughout her playing career, had won 88 professional tour tournaments in golf. More than anyone else has won either on the LPGA Tour or the PGA Tour in general. That 88 number, I don't think will ever be reached. As for the men's side, Sam Snead and Tiger Woods are both tied with 82 all-time victories.
How long ago did she play?
1 second. I gotta see her career here. She was born in 1939.
Okay.
She played for a long. She played for a long time. Her first win was in 1962, and her last win was 2005.
Wow, so she played for over 40 years.
Yeah. And she's got 88 wins. That's impressive.
Well, 88 wins over 40. You're averaging at least 2 wins a year then.
And 6 majors for the LPGA.
Wow.
Yeah. She's not good in fucking playoffs, though. Her all-time tour playoff record, she could have won so many more. She's 8-20.
I mean, still 88 wins. That's a lot of bank.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely...
Especially back then when inflation wasn't as bad to where the amount of money you're getting paid actually, like, transfers over to being able to use it and not lose it to taxes or high-priced housing and all that shit back then.
Yeah, she's also a member of the World Golf Hall of Fame, and she became the first woman to reach a career earnings of $1 million through the LPGA Tour, and that happened in 1981.
Oh, so her last 24 years was...
She finally made $1 million once it was 1981, and $1 million back then is probably what, 50 million now?
Yeah.
That's so much money
Mm-hmm.
that she ended up having. So what a career for her, and something different than the usual football or whatever. So
yeah,
shout out to Kathy Whitworth.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jumping into the NFL, then probably the talk of the league right now has been the Baltimore Ravens and their woes continuing as yesterday Gus Edwards and Marcus Peters go down for the season in back-to-back plays with ACL injuries. Kind of recapping again that Justice Hill and J.K. Dobbins, the other 2 running backs, went down for the year. So there are 3 running backs on the roster, on their original 53-man roster, down for the year. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of finger pointing here. Where do you think this organization went wrong having 3 running backs go down?
I don't know. Maybe going too hard in practice. I know Harbaugh immediately after both players went down was extremely pissed and called an end to the practice yesterday. I don't know. But also you could look at maybe those guys didn't take care of themselves in the offseason like they should have and weren't as ready to go as they should have been. I know there's so many different ways that you can look at it. Could have been an unfortunate situation, could be the training staff, it could be coaches going too hard. So many different factors. I don't think there's really no finger to point the blame at besides obviously the athlete that it happened to, because they're the one that is responsible with having to deal with the injury and how they're gonna, turn it around.
Yeah, it just seems coincidental that it's the entire running back core. So is it the running back coach? Is it the trainer that works with them and gets them prepped, stretched out, their lift? Maybe their lift is too hard on them, putting too much strain on their muscles that once practice comes, they're one wrong move, they're blowing out their knee. There's so many things it could be. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. And obviously, they had to do some shuffling around. Le'Veon Bell, they brought him in 2 or 3 days ago, and then yesterday they signed Latavius Murray as well. So it's going to be an entirely new backfield with Lamar Jackson. Obviously, it sucks to see the three guys you're depending on for the workload for the year to go down. But these are two names that you bring in that have been there, done that. Probably are going to step in and
Do just fine.
yeah. And then rumors also circulate that the Ravens may be pursuing defensive back Stephon Gilmore from the Patriots to fill the void of Marcus Peters. Stephon Gilmore was unhappy with the situation in New England, said he still wants out. Just last week, the Patriots said he's still on the table for a trade. They haven't given up on letting him go. So wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know if it'll happen before Sunday. I mean, if it does, obviously that gives the Ravens a boost in their secondary for that game. They're in, I think, in Vegas Monday night against the Raiders, so they actually have an extra day to work it out if they decide to go after him before that. But I mean, that Ravens defense is already scary. Arguably one of the best defensive secondaries in the league. Obviously, now Marcus Peters is down. That goes down a bit, but then if you replace him with Stephon Gilmore, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. A lot of shuffling around for the Ravens right now.
I don't see the Patriots dealing him to the AFC, especially a team that they're probably going to have to compete against in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl. I just don't see them doing that. Like, look what they did with Garoppolo. The one person that they did think, they sent him to the furthest fucking place away possible.
Yeah.
Bill's too smart for that. He ain't going to put anything in his path that's going to get in his way outside of what's already in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then shifting over to the Steel Curtain, Pittsburgh Steelers extend TJ Watt to a 4-year, $112 million extension, making him the highest defensive paid player in the league. It turns out this deal was rocky. TJ, I guess, was sitting with his agents yesterday, and they were saying, hold on, we can get you another $25 million extra. And I guess TJ Watt turned to his agents and said, why do I need an additional $25 million? Got up, walked out of the room, went straight to the Pittsburgh facility, walked straight to the GM's office and said, we got a deal. Shook his hand and then excused himself by saying he needs to go to the weight room and work out. Same thing, everybody knew that he was going to do what was right. A Watt, they've always seems like they made the right decisions. JJ did the similar situation when he signed his extension in Houston. Everybody expected this deal to get done. Obviously, it's glad to know that he isn't all about the money and he just wants to fucking play football. Mm-hmm. And he's a tremendous football player at that.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, kind of how the situation is a spitting image of JJ, where the deal happened and it was like 4 a.m. immediately went to the facility and started working out, and TJ, same mindset. obviously TJ has his own legacy to build. I'm sure he doesn't want to be in the shadow of his brother. Um, Early on, obviously, he like to have comparisons to his brother was, I'm sure, a huge compliment to him. But now that he's been in the league a couple years, he led the league in sacks last year. He's building his own name. I'm sure he wants to stand apart from his brother. As
If he can stay healthy, he'll do it too.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
He's a hell of an athlete.
at this point in JJ's career, here is right up. If Aaron Donald didn't exist, TJ Watt would be the best defensive player in the league. Um, I mean, this year will be interesting if Aaron Donald has like a average slash down year and Watt can match what he did last year. You almost put him kind of toe to toe, like even with Donald. I'd say Donald has the upper hand. Unless Watt completely blows him out of the water, then it's like, okay, now Watt's the best defensive player in the league. But
only reason Aaron Donald is the best is because look at who else is with him on that D line. There's no other superstar with him. He like does it all himself and still fucking gets home.
Yeah.
Where all these other defensive lines, where you do have the Watts, you got Chandler Jones, you have multiple very good players in the defensive line. So it's not the offensive line saying, okay, we have one guy to block ahead of us, 3 guys, we can take them. You know what I mean? Where other teams, they don't have that luxury because you have a guy on the left side, a guy on the right side, and a linebacker, all that can come at you, where the Rams don't have that luxury. And it's surprising to see what he's been able to do without having somebody else that effective on the defensive line with him. Like it's incredible, honestly.
Yeah. The only other guy in that line would be Brockers, who's that vet who's been there a while, who gets his tackles, gets his sacks, but he's definitely not, you don't think of him as like a top 10 interior defensive lineman. And that's the other thing that's impressive with Donald is he's an interior defensive lineman. As an edge rusher, you're dealing with
You're more
usually
fast.
you're faster, you're dealing with a one-on-one. If you blow past that left tackle or that right tackle, either you got to line at the quarterback or you got to run over a running back who isn't going to be able to stop you for long. Whereas an interior lineman, you might have the center, the guard, the tackle, all hitting you, either all three, two, and then you get past them, and the running back might be there too that you have to get through.
It's all power.
Yeah, it's all just getting through the inside of the line. You don't see those guys usually getting to the quarterback as much, and Donald does it every year.
Right, like Vita Vea did last night for Tampa.
Yeah, that was
in the fourth quarter. That last drive, those 2 plays where he literally blew those plays up, he won the game for Tampa. He stopped them from being able to score a touchdown, getting into position to score a touchdown with enough time for Tom to go down and do his thing. Like he literally did that by himself. And fucking for a guy that's 364 pounds who can move like that, I've never seen anything like that in the history of watching sports. Like same the power, dude. Like he fucking picked up that O lineman basically and ran him into the backfield. Like that was so amazing to watch that play. And so many people don't really, I feel like for the people who missed it, like don't see that as such a significant play, where that what he did literally is the reason why they had to kick the field goal and Tom got the ball back.
Yeah. And on the Cowboys' first drive as well, Cowboys are marching down the field, and Dak's first throw that came up short, I'm pretty sure Vita Vea was in his face as well to force that throw a half second sooner than he wanted to throw it, because the Cowboys were rolling, and then I think it was 2nd and 10 when that throw happened, went to 3rd and long, and then they had to punt, where if Vita Vea didn't get through the line, Dak had an extra half second to a second to throw it. That's a gain of 15 to 20. Cowboys are getting at least 3 out of that drive, if not a touchdown. So, early on, and then like you said in the fourth quarter as well, he pretty much took over in a game that the Cowboys were +2 on the turnover differential. Usually, it's rare to see a loss when you're up on turnovers for the game.
I think they were actually +4. Brady had 3 picks, Fournette fumbled, and Godwin
Evans
fumbled.
Evans on the Bucs second to last play where he was reaching for the end zone and then he fumbled it into the end zone.
Godwin, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was Evans who did that.
Yeah, that was Chris Godwin, and he fucking struggled, and then that was the one play that he made where he shed the guy and he tried doing a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
He stuck the ball out, and that was it. But yeah, what a game last night.
Yeah, I guess
to open up the season, nobody expected that to be how it was. And Cowboys fans, I'd take that as a win. You should have won the game, but you can't give Tom Brady the ball back with over a minute left. You just can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it. How many times do people have to keep trying him? And I texted you. I saw that picture of his look in his fucking eyes when the camera's panned over, and I saw it, and I said, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Tom's going to do his thing. And what do? Bing, bing, bing. And you take away those turnovers by Fournette and Godwin, and, it's completely flip side the other way, and the Bucs win by 14, 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
It was a flip of a coin. Feel bad for the kicker for literally having back surgery in the offseason, not kicking any balls all preseason, no training camp, nothing, to go out there and have to kick 4 balls in a matter of 4 minutes, where you shank one, the worst shank I've seen in a long time in the NFL. Then you dink a goalpost. Then you have a fucking 60-yarder. Or no, then he had a field goal after that where he almost missed it, but he hugged the left one.
Yeah.
And then he had the 60-yarder. And it's just like, wow. And then he nails the one at the end of the game. So it's like, what a roller coaster of a ride it was for the kicker there. And I'd take that as a win for Dallas. Like I said, that's a win.
Yeah, it was odd to see Zerline missing like that. I mean, he was one of the most sure kickers that when he was with the Rams a few years back. Yeah, coming off back surgery. I know Al Michaels was talking. He's like, about when Zerline was missing his couple kicks. He's like, you ever try golfing with a bad back? Imagine trying to kick a football. Yeah, I mean, like you said, even though it's an L on the scoreboard, it kind of answers the question of, is Dak back? 42 of 58, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only a pick, which
101 QBR rating.
Which at I think it was Collin's
completion percentage, which is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I can't believe they passed that much. I mean, obviously the Bucs have one of the best run defenses, but
he couldn't do.
No,
he wasn't getting nothing.
No,
every time they tried so many different things too. Like they tried the wide receiver reverse, they tried the fake pitch, they tried everything to get him going. Their linebackers are just way too fast. Where you can't.
Yeah.
And that is Tampa Bay's defense right there. They're going to make you throw the ball 40 times to beat them.
Yeah, looking at it, they only had 60 yards rushing as a team last night. Zeke Elliott, 11 carries, 33 yards for 3 yards a carry.
I mean, which is pretty fucking good against that defense.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Pollard, 3 carries for 4. He was at averaging 4.7 yards a carry.
He gets the pitches on the outside, though, where Zeke fucking has to go up the middle.
Probably the biggest, well, along with Dak, obviously great to see him back. Another standout last night, Amari Cooper, 13 catches, 139 yards, 2 TDs, averaging almost 11 yards a catch.
What was CeeDee Lamb's stats, too?
7 for 104 yards, 14.9 and a touchdown.
Tremendous stats as well. Antonio Brown, he fucking lit it up as well. It was a great night for quarterbacks and receivers last night. It really was. Take away Tom Brady, the one ball that was tipped, and then you take away the one that halftime where he threw the Hail Mary, which is, I was impressed that he threw the ball that far.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it was Collinsworth at halftime was talking about that, how they need to change that stat that Hail Marys to end a game or halftime, or balls that go through the hands of the receiver should not count as an interception against the quarterback.
It should.
I agree with that. I mean, obviously it's an interception no matter what, but there should be that asterisk next to it saying error by receiver or whatever.
It should just be the turnover. It should be like a fumble. It should be just a turnover on that wide receiver. instead of having like a fumble stat, that interception stat should be for the wide receiver. Where if ball literally hits off his hands or goes right through it, he should have had that.
Yeah. Which makes you think then, if that were the case, Aaron Rodgers would have half the amount of interceptions he has.
Probably.
He doesn't throw an interception to where he completely misses a guy and it's just a bad read. I feel like half of his interceptions are through the hands of a receiver popping off a helmet, and it's just a floating duck at that point.
The one thing he doesn't do is he doesn't throw interceptions on his Hail Marys, though.
That's true. It's either touchdowns or
touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize either, looking at the Buccaneers ground game, they only had 50 yards as well. They had less than Dallas.
Defense is for real.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons is fucking really good. And people are talking shit about how that one play where he had to read the run on the pass read and Brady just torched him over the You have to play that. You cannot, as a linebacker, not play the pass run.
That's why you have cornerbacks and safeties. It's not your responsibility. Obviously, if that's your part of the field on zone, yeah, you like.
Well, it is, and Brady's just that good that he's just too quick, and any super experienced quarterback is going to take advantage of that. But look at the other time where Dak Prescott at the end of the game, I forgot, it was like a 3rd and 7, threw an out route to somebody, and they showed the replay of Levante David, the Buccaneers linebacker. He took a half a step too far over, and that was a pick six. Just a half a step, and Dak knew it and got rid of it and beat him to it. And that's all a quarterback is trying to do, is get the ball to a spot before the defender can get in the way, basically.
Yeah.
And
another play like that too, that probably one of the worst throws I've ever seen Brady make that ended up working out for him. I don't know if it was a 3rd down or not, but pocket was collapsing as he was falling, flipped it up, and Fournette and Micah Parsons both went up, where Fournette got it. If Micah Parsons was a half step in, that's a pick six. Linebacker runs a 4.3 940, nobody's catching him. That completely flips the game over. And I'm pretty sure that was the same drive that they ended up fumbling it in the end zone, and then the Cowboys got it out anyway. So it ended up working. Well, I shouldn't say it ended up working out, because that would have been 7 instead of just the 3.
And then 2 plays before that too. Before Tom Brady did that to the right side, to the left side, Mike Evans, he lobbed the ball and Diggs was way out of position, jumped up and got a fingertip on that and just tipped it the wrong direction, and that was a touchdown. Mike Evans was wide open and there's nobody back there.
Yeah, I mean, if that was a indication of what the 2021 season is going to be like as a whole, I'm really excited for this year. If that's
Cowboys, what I take out of that is the Cowboys look way better than I thought that they were going to look. Granted, that was week 1, and is that them playing up to Tampa's level of competition because they are that good? We'll see, because of their schedule. Like we talked about, they don't play another playoff team from last season until week 11 when they play the Chiefs, the other Super Bowl reigning team. So it's going to be a good indication, I guess, over these next 10 games, how is Dallas for real or not?
Yeah.
Because they should put away all of these teams.
They should. That they're going to at least lose 1 or 2. I know they play the Patriots and the Chargers are 2 games that they play, which, neither of them were playoff teams last year. The Chargers are trending up. They're right there. And obviously the Patriots.
They get a lot of guys back. The Chargers, I feel so bad for them. For how many games they lost by less than 7 points.
They would have been one of the top teams in the league. If
Joey Bosa was out. Melvin Ingram, their linebacker, was out. They had a lot of key guys on their defense that were out last season.
Plus, they need to get another receiver aside from Keenan Allen. He's kind of one. He was like Devontae Adams before they brought in Lazard and Scantling. He was just out there on an island by himself, and if he didn't ball out and get 100+ yards a game, they have no chance of winning. But
he's a phenomenal athlete. Like he's one of those super underrated players. His stats all like over his career, phenomenal. 1,000 yards, Well, he had 2 seasons that were bad, but since 2017, 1,300, 1,200, 1,200, and last season, 992.
Yeah.
Like, and people don't talk about him.
Well, it's because they're not a playoff team. When you're in the AFC West, you get overshadowed by the Chiefs every year, no matter how good you are.
Well, you did have Phillip Rivers for
Yeah.
how long, who fucking threw for 350 every single game and 6 picks as well. Where now you have Justin Herbert, who can also sling the rock, and it seems like he's a little bit more careful with the ball too. So, but he also runs the ball himself, which I don't know. He's still by far one of the. I think he's a top 10 wide receiver in the league, and people just sleep on him all the time.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He
Yeah.
had the most touchdowns in his career last year with 8.
Yeah. I guess on Fridays here then, since we'll be recapping every Thursday night game, and then going into Sunday's games, and then obviously the Monday game. We're both going to be giving 2 wins, 2 losses on the weekend. Just kind of giving predictions, and then obviously on Monday we'll recap these and see if we were right, and then obviously highlighting all the games that happened over the weekend as well. So I'll throw things to you, or throw it over to you. What are your 2 wins on the weekend?
My 2 wins on the weekend, I am going to lock. People might think I'm a little crazy. I think the Steelers are going to beat the Bills. I also am going to take the Cleveland Browns over the Kansas City Chiefs.
So 2 upsets for your wins.
2 upsets is what I think is going to happen week 1.
All right. I'm doing one upset. I'm taking the Vikings over the Bengals. The Bengals are expected to win by 3. I think that
Minnesota's favored by 3.
I'm sorry. I said that backwards. The Bengals are going to beat the Vikings, as the Vikings are expected to win by 3. I don't know. I like the swagger that Bengals team has this year. It's one of the first times in over a decade that I see potential for that team this year. Obviously, they're not going to win the division, but I see them going toe to toe with above average teams like the Vikings. I don't see them taking out big powerhouses at any time soon, but in close games like this, I think that they'll find a way to win. So I got the Bengals being the Vikings there. And then my other lock, Rams over the Bears, expected to win by 8. I think that they win by more than that, honestly. I think it could be anywhere from a 2 to 3 possession game that they end up winning by. That the Bears, obviously their defense is going to keep them in that game. I still don't think Andy Dalton is going to be the answer for them. Not saying Justin Fields is ready yet, but just that quarterback situation in Chicago is going to be the Achilles heel for them until they figure that out. And that Rams defense, that front, their secondary, they're going to smother Dalton. Yeah, I got the Rams over the Bears in that game. And then going over to our 2 losses for the weekend.
I think Washington football team loses to the Chargers. For some odd reason, I also have a really weird feeling that I was going to say that the Rams were going to lose to the Bears.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're gonna see a lot of upsets in these first 1 to 3 weeks as teams figure out their chemistry, get their wheels going. Even last night, there wasn't a ton of injuries, but you saw guys getting cramped up. They had to go out a play or two, to where you have your star receiver out for a play, your star cornerback out for a play because he's cramped up, so he has to sit out for a little bit. that's the difference that you're going to see in these games where you see upsets happen where your star player is out for a play or two, boom, the other player is going to capitalize on that. Yeah, these first couple of weeks are always interesting where you see teams that are expected to win not, and the teams that are expected to lose go on a little bit of a streak to start the year, and then they go cold. So yeah, but again, any given Sunday, you never know who's going to win these games. Yeah, then my two losses. I have the Giants over the Broncos. Broncos are expected to win by 3. I think the Giants are on the right track. It's going to be if the game was in Denver, I might think differently, but since it's in New York, I think that gives the Giants an advantage. Meadowlands, most seats in the NFL. That place is going to be packed. It's going to be rocking. I don't know. I like the Giants. I think are going to be right there with the Cowboys and Washington this year in the NFC East. As it has been in years past, you never know who's going to win that division. And then my other loss, I got the Seahawks losing to the Colts. Seahawks are expected to win by 2.5. Colts at home. Going to be one of those games, ground and pound. Carson Wentz is going to be on the field. We're expecting to have him back this early. It's basically best case scenario that they get him back this early. I'm not sure if he's 100%. I know he's been taking reps to say he looks good, but if he falters a little bit, Jonathan Taylor, ground and pound, Naheem Hines, really good running back tandem there for the Indianapolis. I think they get the win at home. So yeah, that wraps up our predictions for the week then. Obviously, any big upsets that happen over the weekend, any big highlights, we'll be highlighting and going over all of that on Monday.
Yep, and then the Monday Night Football game.
Yeah. Excited that this time of year where Thursday through Monday, there's football, college or NFL every day now. Thursday night
they have college games on all week, don't they?
Yeah, but like those are more FCS or like unranked games. Usually like Friday.
I know that ever since ESPN started doing the high school games too, there's high school games on during the week and shit too. So football 24/7 basically.
Yeah. I guess over to the NBA, I didn't have anything to highlight for today. Did you have anything to throw out there?
Nope. Nothing besides Indiana Pacers guard Edmund Summer tears his left Achilles tendon during a workout, expected to potentially miss all season.
All right. Moving on then to the MLB here. The Brewers won their midweek series against the Phillies 2-1. They dropped game 1 10-0, and then they bounced back with a double digits shutout themselves. And then yesterday or 2 days ago, Eduardo Escobar in the 6th inning breaks a 3-3 tie to give them a 4-3 win there. They travel to Cleveland tonight for their weekend series against the Indians. Sticking with the Indians, they snapped their 25-inning scoreless streak in a 4-1 win over the Twins. And the Toronto Blue Jays continue to be the hottest team in baseball, winning their 8th straight over the Yankees, and now sit just a half game back in the wild card race in the AL. So keep an eye on the Blue Jays, see if they can keep a hot streak or if they're eventually going to go cold and fall short in the wild card race.
Real quick, I just had to jump in on that Yankees series. That was the first time in a 4+ game series that the Yankees did not hold a lead or a tie, which was the first time since 1924-25 when the last time that happened to the Yankees.
Wow.
Yeah, almost 100 years, dude, since they have not held a lead in a 4+ game series.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, streaks come to an end, but like obviously props to the Blue Jays to be that team that does that, but also
They're the hottest team in baseball.
But also props to the Yankees for almost going 100 years with a streak like that. Pulling up the wild card standings here.
I got them up.
Okay. I'm trying to pull them up here. Oh, there we go. So in the AL right now, Boston and the Yankees hold the 2 wild card spots. Boston's up a game on the Yankees, and then, as mentioned, Blue Jays just a half game back on New York, and then next 2 teams behind them that really have a chance: Seattle and Oakland, 2 games back as well. Again, only a couple weeks away, month away from playoff baseball. What do you see happening in the AL? Does it stay the same? Do Boston and the Yankees hang on, or do the hot Blue Jays steal one of those spots?
Blue Jays are going to steal a spot. I don't know who it's going to be out, but Toronto's getting in.
Yeah, and another team that's been hot as of late too, Seattle Mariners won 7 of their last 10. Again, just 2 games back. Do you think they have potential to make a push, or do you think that they're going to be the first team out or second team out in the wild card race?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get in.
All right, then moving over to the NL, we have the Dodgers and Padres hold the 2 wild card spots. The Dodgers are essentially a lock for the 1 wild card spot as they're up 13 games over the Padres. There's
26 games left or 24 games left.
Yeah, so they basically have to lose 80 to 90% of their last games, which is most likely not going to happen. So the first 3 teams out, the Reds a game out, St. Louis Cardinals 3 games out, Phillies 3.5 games out. What do you see going on in the NL wildcard race? Mind you, I'm pretty sure that the Phillies are only a game. They're within a game of the division as well.
They're 3.5 behind the Atlanta Braves for first in the East.
Oh, okay. So that lead stretched out then.
The Mets are 5 games back.
Mm-hmm. I mean, after the Mets, they're 5 games out. The Cubs 10 games out. So basically, the Mets are kind of that last team in the wild card race that would have a chance to go on a hot streak to maybe steal that second spot.
And they're not gonna, because they had DeGrom out for too much of the season. He ain't healthy enough to carry them, and you need pitching at this time of the year.
Yeah.
I don't see the Reds or the Cardinals getting in either. I think it's going to be all 3 from the West.
Yeah, I mean,
unless the Phillies can get some magic going.
Yeah.
They've been a streaky team all season long.
Mm-hmm. They went on I think, close to a 10-game win streak just a couple weeks ago. Now they're on a 3-game losing streak, losing 5 of their last 10, winning the other 5. And then the Reds, who originally were that number 2 wild card spot.
Yeah, they're shit. They're 3-7 for their last 10.
Yeah. So if they can turn things around quickly and flip it around and start winning 7 or 8 of their 10-game stretches, I could see them potentially stealing that second spot. But I guess it all depends with the Padres too, being in the NL West. How many more times do they play the Dodgers, the Giants? Those are going to be tough series that they're going to have to steal a game or try to win the series to hang on to that spot. If they start losing series, the Reds playing the Cardinals and the Pirates, those are 2 easier teams to beat, obviously, than the Dodgers and the Giants for them. But at the same time, when they're on losing 7 of their last 10, doesn't matter who you play for losing all your games.
I think the Phillies are going to actually beat the Braves in that spot. Just pulled up both their team schedules. Braves have a rough road out.
Who do they play?
Marlins, who just swept the Yankees. And then they play the Rockies. I don't know how good they are, but then they play the Giants for 3. Diamondbacks, which is an easy series for them, but then they play the Padres, Phillies, Mets to end the season. And the Phillies have Pirates, Rockies, Cubs, Mets, Orioles, who suck, Pirates, who suck. Then they play the Braves, and then they end with the Marlins.
Yes, I mean, they definitely have an easier road. That's for sure.
Definitely. And then it's going to come down to who beats each other up in the West. Do the Giants beat the Padres too many times in the last couple games to kick them out is what it's going to come down to, because I think they play each other 6 times. I'm just pulling it up, Padres quick. So you got the Dodgers for 3, Giants for 4, Cardinals for 3, Giants for 4, Braves for 3, Dodgers for 3, Giants, dude. So the Padres have a tough road if they want to get in.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Cincinnati doesn't break stride. Cardinals don't slip. Phillies and Mets continue to. It's not over.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of tough games.
Yeah, I mean, on both sides,
Especially because every team wants to win right now for seeding.
Oh yeah, and I mean, nobody really wants.
Dodgers are trying to catch the Giants. Brewers are trying to catch the Giants. That's basically what it's at right now. It's a 3-team race for that first bye.
Yeah,
and the Giants and the Dodgers play each other 6 times. The Giants and the Padres play each other 6 times. So that's a lot of beating up each other in that division before the playoffs even start. Just getting that top spot in your division, where the Brewers were up 12 games. We're not sweating every night.
Yeah, and in the Dodgers, I mean, in unfamiliar territory, obviously being in the wild card race right now, where you have one game to decide the rest of your season, where obviously if you're that second wild card team going into LA, that's very intimidating place to be. But again, it's only one game. You don't get a 5 or a 7 game series.
Breaking news. Speaking about the Los Angeles Dodgers, Trevor Bauer is out the rest of the 2021 MLB season. They extended his leave again. So he's out for the year. He's done. As the MLB investigates sexual assault allegations.
Well, I mean, obviously that's a hit to them if they had him this whole year. If they had
him, dude, they'd be number 1.
Yeah.
In baseball.
But the fact that they're right there toe to toe.
They're working on getting Clayton Kershaw back right now. Like, really, they're going off of Buehler and Scherzer are carrying that team right now.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those guys slips up, goes into a slump. That's it for them. Like, they don't have the 5 aces that they normally have.
Yeah, like I said, it's unfamiliar territory for them. I mean, any of these teams that get on a hot streak, obviously the Padres seem like the best team to go head to head with them. If the Phillies can get on their hot streak like they were a month ago, that could be a team that could go toe to toe with the Dodgers in that wild card game. Again, looking at the rest of these teams, the Mets, the Cardinals, the Reds, I don't see any of them making noise. I feel like that'd be an easy walk for the Dodgers. So long as it's the Phillies or the Padres going against them in that wild card game, those are the only 2 teams I see having a chance knocking them out.
And another big knock to the Dodgers is Cody Bellinger, who went from MVP to now he completely sucks ass. He's 3rd worst among position players who have taken at least 300 plate appearances, and he's 2nd worst among all players fielding. After being dominant over 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah. But I mean, the Dodgers are one of those teams that can afford to have a star have a slump because you got Mookie Betts, you got Albert Pujols, you got Trey Turner, you got
Yeah, but to win it all, dude, it takes everyone.
yeah. Oh, that's why I'm excited with the Brewers. So long as they can stay healthy and keep guys off that COVID list.
We're good.
Yeah.
Because we finally have the pitching. We finally have the depth that we need
Yeah.
to do it.
But yeah,
Like,
them going on getting
it's this year, or I don't know when the next time the Brewers are going to look this good.
yeah. I mean, them going on getting Eduardo Escobar, Rowdy Tellez, that boosted their offense so much over the past 2 months that they went on and got those guys. So, and then yeah, obviously, like I said, their bullpen,
Fucking awesome.
yeah, Woodruff,
Burns is up for pitcher of the year in the NL for the Cy Young with Scherzer and fucking Bueller.
and then obviously you got
I forgot who's on the other side.
Otani is like favored by a shit ton. I'm pretty sure right now in the
For the
AL.
Cy Young?
Yeah,
Really?
I want to say last time I saw it, he was.
I didn't think he was even on the list, to be honest.
I don't know, like Chris Sale. I think he's on there.
Yeah, he's not even on the. Liam Hendricks for the White Sox is currently leading. Raisel Iglesias for the Angels is second. Garrett Cole is third. Ryan Presley for Houston's fourth. Robbie Ray for Toronto's fifth. White Sox's Rendon and Lance Lynn are sixth, seventh. Lance McCullers is eighth. Chris Bassett from Oakland is ninth. And Andrew Kittredge. I don't think he's got enough innings pitched, to be honest.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, never mind. It doesn't matter because haters made the NL list. Walker Buehler's in first. Kevin Gausman is in second. Julio Urias is in third from the Dodgers. Never mind. What the Hold on, dude. That's not right. That list that was posted was not correct. Because it still had Scherzer listed on the fucking so it's Bueller, Burns, Scherzer, Wheeler, Woodruff, and Guzman for the NL. So the Brewers have two pitchers in the NL.
Wait, who is the top three again?
For the top three for the NL is Walker Buehler, Burns, and then Scherzer. Then it's Wheeler from the Phillies, I believe. Then Woodruff, and then Guzman from the Giants.
Okay.
Per stats.
Is that like I forget, how do they decide the winners of that? Is it like voted upon, or how do they?
It's voted upon, I think, by every single team.
Okay.
I think that's how they do it. I think the MLB is pretty fair in that, right? So I think every single award is actually voted on by like every single team. Because like right now, Walker Buehler this season's 13-3, 2.31 ERA, 184 strikeouts, 0.94 WHIP, and he's pitched 179 innings. Where Corbin Burns is in second, he's 9-4, 2.38 ERA, 196 Ks, 0.96 WHIP, 144 innings pitched. So he's like 40 innings less pitched than Walker Buehler. But he's got fucking way more strikeouts, but less ERA and less WHIP.
Which is good. A lower WHIP is better.
Yeah, he's got a higher WHIP by 0.2 compared to Walker Buehler.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Gosman, I guess actually the Giants guy's in third, excuse me. Scherzer's in fourth, Wheeler's in fifth, and Woodruff is in sixth. Which is pretty cool that we got two pitchers that are even nominated for the fucking Cy Young.
Yeah.
He's 9-8, 2.48 ERA, 191 strikeouts, 0.97 whip, 163 in the third innings pitched. Last time out, 6 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk. Versus the Phillies.
Yeah, I mean, anytime like a 1 to 1.1 whip is really good. Anytime you're below a 1, you're fucking like, I mean, because that means you're averaging less than 1 hit or walk every inning, which is amazing.
And the best whip on the list is Scherzer. He's got a 0.86. Dude, how is he not first? 13-4, 2.28 ERA, 210 Ks, 0.86 whip in 154 innings pitched, dude. He should be fucking number 1.
Yeah, that's weird.
Last time out, 8 innings pitched, 1 run, 0 earned runs, 13 Ks, no walks versus the Cardinals.
I don't know if it was his time when he was still in Washington that like I remember
Those are
wasn't he
for the year, dude. He's
I know,
unreal.
Wasn't he out for a little while though? Like for a couple weeks before he got traded with like COVID or something. I don't know if that
He's got 2 more starts than Burns.
Oh.
And 1 less start than Walker Buehler. 1 less than the Giants guy. 2 less than the Phillies guy. Phillies guy's got the most starts. But dude, that is one of the craziest pitching stat lines I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's weird how he's not.
For how old he is, 210 Ks, dude. 0.86 whip. At fucking 37 years old.
Yeah.
Dude's unreal. But yeah, baseball shit. Getting nuts.
Yeah. Switching things over then. Hockey. Anything going on over there?
Yeah, actually some big news has came out across the hockey world yesterday. Pittsburgh Penguins star Sidney Crosby is sidelined for at least 6 weeks after undergoing surgery. Core. Everything's supposed to be fine. Penguins begin training camp next week. That's when the NHL kind of is getting all their guys back in there. But yeah, doesn't anticipate anything happening. He said the crew, Crosby and Malkin, will both miss the start of the season. They both had surgeries to finally heal themselves up after this is the first time in a long time that they didn't go on a long Stanley Cup playoff run. So first time in a long time for them to get to heal up. And yeah, looking for the Pittsburgh Penguins to be back and ready to go for next season, even though I hope they suck when it comes to playing the Flyers. And yeah, that's all that's really going on right now. Actually, the National Women's Hockey League is rebranding their name to the Premier Hockey Federation, entering their 7th season as they picked up some sponsors and other flows of money and advertisements. So I think that's a good way to go for them to continue to play the game that they love. And now that they're finally getting paid more to where hopefully that they don't have to work 2 part-time jobs or a full-time job and play hockey. Like I couldn't imagine doing that at the professional level of Tom Brady working a 40-hour week, sitting behind a desk and then going out there on Sundays and slinging like that. There's no way that heck can happen. If you want a good product, out there, you need these people to be working on their craft all the time. And hopefully now that the women get to do that professionally when it comes to hockey.
Awesome. Yeah, then wrapping up today's episode with our Feel Good Friday stories. What do you have for this week?
Kind of 2 things. One was Dak Prescott, pretty cool for him. See him overcome that injury. He looked great last night, as we already talked about his stats in the game earlier. So I don't want to dig into that too much again. But yeah, I feel like everybody who watched him play last night felt awesome to see him out there being able to kind of get back to that same level that he was before the injury. So shout out to Dak doing that. And then also shout out to Cam Newton for not being such a big-headed, arrogant person that so many people probably think that he is. He said that he's not surprised 1 ounce that Mac Jones beat him out for the starting position. Obviously, he said that they both became friends, that they're going to stay in contact with each other. He just knew that because of his big personality that he has, that they had to let him go because Mac Jones wouldn't have felt comfortable having Cam Newton sitting on the bench behind him. And he completely understood that, and he said that he's got a lot of football left, and I'd imagine he's going to be on a team here probably within the 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the quarterback carousel is a given every year. Injuries, people shit in the bed. Now that he's a free agent, he's definitely probably the first one in line to get the call.
Speaking of shit in the bed, though, real quick, do you think the Cowboys kicker's gone?
Zerline, no.
Do you think they have somebody in that practice competing with him?
I mean, if they did, obviously he didn't stand out enough because, like we said, back surgery, hasn't kicked the ball all preseason training camp. If they had another kicker in there who was putting every single ball through and balling out, they say, sorry, Zerloin, you're too much of a liability. You're coming off of surgery. We don't know how you're going to do. We're going to give this guy the nod. So obviously either whoever they had as a backup wasn't doing it for him, or they just were all in on Zerloin. Yeah, I mean, as much as it sucks, yeah, he left 7 points on the board last night, which would have won them the game. He's one of those surefire guys. Like I said, he was amazing from his time in LA, and even last year. I think this is either second or his third year in Dallas now. I don't know. I'm not too worried about him. Obviously, if it was a young guy or a guy who's had a reputation like a Cody Parkey or
Double doinker.
Yeah, that's Cody Parkey. I'm trying to think of the Minnesota kicker who shanked it playoffs against Blair Walsh. Yep, those are two guys that come to mind that you shit the bed, you're gone. Zerline isn't one of those guys that comes to mind. Obviously, if he continues to struggle and the back continues to be a problem come closer to the middle of the year, then yeah, maybe, but he's at least earned the respect to see it out for a couple more weeks, I think. Then yeah, finishing up with my Feel Good Friday story for the week, we have Mackenzie Milton. Florida State Seminoles quarterback Mackenzie Milton has had a roller coaster last 3 years. November 23rd, 2018 would be a day that turned his life upside down when on the season finale for the UCF season, Milton suffered a knee injury in which he had to be rushed to the hospital for surgery. Early on, there was a 50% chance that his leg would have to be amputated. High chances he would never walk again. And when he asked the doctor about returning to the football field, he said that nobody's ever returned to 100% from this kind of injury. Last Saturday, that all changed when Milton took the field down to Notre Dame and led the team to a comeback to force overtime. The Seminoles did go on to lose that game in overtime, but a much larger victory happened on the field that night as Milton proved the odds wrong and returned to do what he loved. So, and Florida State coach came out and said that he still hasn't I don't think he's named a starter yet for the upcoming game, as obviously whoever, I can't remember who their quarterback was
King
was shit in the bed. They bring Milton in. He makes the comeback. Yeah, obviously a big decision there, what they're going to do, but great to see him at least back out on the field. You take one snap and that's great to see. But yeah, I guess college football talk then, finishing out the podcast here. As mentioned on Wednesday, Badgers have a game with Central Michigan tomorrow. They're expected to win by, I think, four touchdowns. I think it's like 26 points that they're favored by. Or Eastern Michigan, not Central Michigan. Central Michigan's actually better than Eastern Michigan, I think. But yeah, obviously a must-win game to get back on the right track. Falling to number 18, they got a lot of work to do to get back into the top 10. Probably got to win at least 2, if not 3 more games convincingly to crack back in that top 10. Another game, I guess, pay attention to this weekend. I think it's the big noon Saturday game of the week is the 2015 national championship rematch between Oregon and Ohio State, number 12 versus what is Ohio State, 3? Yeah, the number 3. So that's gonna be a really fun game to watch. Ohio State heavily favored in that game, but Oregon's been one of those teams that's been relevant for a very long time. So that's gonna be a fun game to watch. Any other games to highlight that you see?
No. I'm more excited for Sunday.
Yeah, same. Packers Saints. I guess we'll send us off. Who wins by how much?
Obviously, I hope the Packers win, but I hope my boy Jameis fucking balls out like a motherfucker. So 35-14 Packers.
All right.
Or 35-21. 35-21. We won by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's kind of the score that comes to head for me. Packers 31, Saints 20. They win by 11. Obviously a good test to start the year. It's sadly, even though it's a Saints home game, it's going to be a home field advantage for the Packers as they're expecting a huge turnout in Jacksonville. But yeah, well, really excited. I think that's actually a game of the week. It's a 3:25 game. I want to say it's the game of the week on Fox.
It is. They have the most games of the week.
Packers?
They have 8.
Wow. Well, they do have the 3rd hardest schedule of the year, so that doesn't surprise me. They're going to be playing a lot of good teams this year. I think they have 3 primetime games as well. I think they have 2. They have obviously the Thursday night game, a Sunday night game, and I think it's either 2 Sunday night games or 2 Monday night games. One of the 2. Because I think that
But technically, I guess, according to ESPN, the game of the week technically was Cowboys Bucs.
Well,
week two, it's Chiefs at Ravens, 3 Buccaneers at Rams, 4 Buccaneers at Patriots, 5 Bills at Chiefs, 6 Bills at Titans, 7 Lions at Rams, 8 Buccaneers at Saints, 9 Chiefs Packers, 10 Seahawks Packers, 11 Washington football team Panthers, 12 Browns Ravens, 13 Niners Seahawks, 14 Bills Bucks, 15 Chiefs Chargers, 16 Jags Jets, 1 pick versus number 2, Browns Steelers, 17, and then week 18 Steelers Ravens. Those are all according to the best games of every single week.
Well, I'm talking about Fox's game of the week, like the Fox broadcast. How they have it.
I don't know. You'd have to.
It's always
through Fox.
It's their 3:25 game They always have like however many noon games. They have like 2 3:05 games, and then whatever the 3:25 game is always the game of the week. Usually by itself.
So Fox has 2 games on at 3:25 on Sunday.
Who's the other one?
Packers, New Orleans, Denver Giants.
Okay, so obviously Packers Saints is going to be more of a.
But they're both on Fox.
Yeah.
3:25. And then Sunday, the following week, I don't know who would be the best game. Fox has 2 games at 3:05. CBS has 2 games at 3:25.
Usually whatever the 325 games are is like considered
Dallas
the game of the week.
Chargers, Tennessee, Seahawks, Atlanta, Tampa, or Vikings, Cardinals at 3:00. I don't know. It seems like it's weird.
I mean, sometimes they switch games around.
Since they added in an extra, because obviously it's whatever local broadcasting is your local Fox network. That's going to be your game of the week. So in the other part of the country, their Sunday game of the week is going to be Denver at the Giants.
Well, it always says America's game of the week, like, because that's what usually Joe Buck and Aikman are calling that game. To where I'm sure if you live close to Denver, or if you're in Denver or New York, you probably get those games, but the rest of the country will get like the Packers Saints game. Unless you got like Game Pass or something, then you can watch whatever you want. But even sometimes too, it was weird when I was living on the other side of the state.
They're doing it different this year. It's not all America's game of the weeks. The week 1 they have one, week 3 they have one, week 9, and then week 11. Thursday Night Football has 3, and then CBS has 4 of their own things through Bud Light. But week 1 it is Packers Saints. 3 it's Tampa Bay Rams. 9 it's Packers Chiefs. 11 it's Cowboys Chiefs. Thursday Night Footballs are Tampa Bay at Eagles 6, Cowboys Saints 13, and then Browns Packers on Christmas Day 16. And then it doesn't announce the Bud Light ones that they have. So fucking everything that I look at is different.
Yeah.
So I feel like probably while you're subscribed to where you live, all that shit.
Well, I'm sure like you said, they change it every year based on marketing and adding this name to it, and
who wants to pay to host what.
Like Amazon Prime, how they have a couple games a year that are exclusive to Amazon Prime, usually a Thursday night game that you can't watch it anywhere unless you have Amazon Prime. So that's always a catch to either you're missing a football game that week, or
Notre Dame's doing that for college.
Yeah, for on Peacock. You got to watch Notre Dame football on the cock.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, obviously Fridays and Mondays are going to be either predicting or recapping kind of the weekend sports for football. So yeah, then thanks again everybody for tuning in, listening, watching to all of our episodes. Appreciate all the support over the last 6 months or so as we continue to get closer to being partnered here on YouTube. Don't forget, if you are enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button down in the corner. Turn on the bell notification so you know when all of our episodes are posted. Check out all of our other social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, for usually on the hour updates around the sports world. Anything that happens outside of these hour episodes 3 times a week. For our audio episodes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, anywhere associated with Anchor, you can listen to us there. And we also have merch. Feel free to check that out, streamerloot.co. Link is down in the description as well. Feel free to cop anything in that store. We'll be back on Monday, again, highlighting all the top NFL and college games over the weekend.
Have a great weekend, everyone.